really like Charles Oliveira. I think, Bronx is freaking good and his submission game is outstanding. He just doesn't have the style that's going to match up well, in my opinion, with Tony.
I agree. Well, why don't you like it then? I like Tony.
Well, I like Tony too, but I just look at it and I go, I'm not sure what's the win streak that Oliveira's on, but he's had some really good fights. Fought Keith Lee, got a win against him. I'm sorry, Kevin Lee. Well, I was just talking about his brother. You look at styles making fights, and sometimes styles make it to where you go, oh, that's a fun fight based upon this. And I just look at everything that Charles does. If he can keep it on the feet and keep length, he's got a chance. But if it gets into when Tony's able to grab a hold of him, pin him up against cage, hit him with elbows, it's gonna go downhill fast.
But if he can get Tony down,
he's got a slick submission game. He really does. But he normally pulls things out. He's the guy that'll pull off. He'll pull off the calf slicer. He'll pull off the bicep lock. He'll pull off the freaking. He hasn't done it, but he'll be a guy who can pull off a twister. Yeah. He does those type of submissions very well. He's got a good, very beautiful job of setting up a rear naked choke when he switches hands. The way he'll lock it in, he's slick. I just don't think that. Again, and I could be wrong, but I think that matchup with Tony, he's fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, he's not a big guy.
No, he's not.
Not for 55. But he's like, it's too much for him.
But yes,
more so.
But I would say it's still more hardcore than the average place for sure.
It is so open in terms of how people decide to structure their camps. Some people have very little sparring. Like Cowboy was telling me, he hardly spars at all. I mean, he does just technical work and pad work. He's like, I already know how to fight.
He used to be completely opposite, though, right?
Yep.
He used to spar, and now he's switched it up.
But that's when he started doing much better, he said. He said it really made a big difference because he was going into fights damaged. Because, he's so hardcore himself that sparring with him ultimately must become more hardcore. It's just such a fucking wild man.
Robbie Lawler did something similar as well.
Same thing.
But I think Tony Ferguson was just
Tony Ferguson was speaking about it.
No sparring.
Yep.
Tony had no sparring in preparation for his last fight.
That's what I saw in the post-fight interview.
What makes sense about that with him, though, is that he was coming off a catastrophic knee injury. I mean, he literally tore his ligament off the bone and had to have it put back on, and then 6 months later, he was fighting.
That's incredible.
There's not a whole lot of human beings like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a real freak.
That level of grit, determination to come back from that injury and to perform like he did with Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
That was my favorite fight of the night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was bummed out that Pettis hurt his hand.
Yeah.
He does not stop going forward.
No, he doesn't, man. He never gets tired. That's the crazy thing about Tony. And Eddie Bravo does his camps with him up in Big Bear, and he says, it's nuts, man. They do hill sprints. Everybody else is exhausted, and Tony's just lapping them, just running back up. I mean, he's just never out of gas. He'll work out 6 hours hard a day. And on top of that, what he does is he gets there, they rent a house, and then he builds his own gym. So they'll have like a house that they rent. He'll mat up the living room, and then he'll go outside. He'll put up a Wing Chun dummy. He'll hang heavy bags. He does it all himself.
I used to do the Wing Chun dummy too.
Yeah, man. I mean, he actually used Wing Chun in the fight with Pettis. He trapped his hand and hit him with an elbow once. And I remember watching it going, like, holy shit, he just used Wing Chun inside the cage. Like, it works. Like, if you really know your shit, he trapped his hand and then came right over the top with an elbow. And I went, look at that shit. Because he's always practicing it.